Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing, Ollie?
I'm good, thank you, Duncan. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Happy
Good.
E3 season. Sorry, I butted on you there.
No, whatever. Yeah, happy E3s.
Yeah, so E3 was like last weekend, so we're gathering via Discord to discuss E3 and talk about what we thought was good, what was bad. So basically we're going to go through all the different conferences. I have tons of notes. Ollie is going to give counterpoints and all that sort of shit. I was watching all the conferences, so I have like 11 pages of notes, which hopefully we'll get through. But we'll then also give a little like what we're most excited for, and maybe like who we think won E3. So starting off, it was EA's conference, which I didn't watch because it's basically always the same, let's face it. But the thing that came out of it was Battlefront 2 trailer. Did you see the trailers?
I did.
What did you think?
I'm excited there's a game attached to that game now.
Yeah, it's not just like half a game.
Because like the multiplayer or whatever, as in like the entire game of the first Battlefront, was like fun, but at a certain point I was like, okay, well, there's no like other thing to do. Like there's only so many maps and I didn't want to like buy the DLC. So I was like, all right, well, there's no campaign. I guess I'm just done with this game now.
Yeah, totally. Like it was it was technically fine, but there was, in terms of content, there was nothing there. You know, there was only like 4 worlds that you could play on and everything. There wasn't very many game modes, but this one looks a lot more full. There's more characters from all the different movies. It looks really fun, to be honest.
Dude, I'm just hyped for a campaign, because I remember in Battlefront 2, like on PS2, I played like the 501st campaign through with my brother, and that shit was like fun.
Yeah.
Like just actually playing a campaign like in the Star Wars world. That's the only like thing I wanted from the new Battlefront, and then it wasn't in it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and
So I'm happy there's going to be a campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And space battles. There's actually going to be space battles as well.
Yeah, which again, space battles were the shit in the old game.
Well, I mean, even in the first Battlefront, the spaceship battles, I can't remember what the name of those were now, but they were really good. So I'm really looking forward to actually being in space and doing that whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I had a pin in my mouth there.
That's cool. Yeah, so apart from that, we're not really big on FIFA and Madden and stuff, so we're not really going to comment on those. But moving on to the next conference was Microsoft. Now, I wrote an article about Microsoft conference, and people didn't like it very much. It was because
you got some minor criticism for that.
Just some minor ones.
Yeah.
Like, apparently I'm smoking meth, and I'm high lol, and stuff like that. But
also that you're just like a fanboy.
Oh, I know, right? Which is wrong, because I'm a PlayStation fanboy, if anything. And I was supporting how Microsoft put on a good show. So my thoughts on the whole conference was that they put on a good show. Like they came out and they used a lot of Sony's like rhetoric and techniques to make a good E3. They just rattled out all these trailers and stuff. They actually focused on games. They said at some point during the show, our focus has always been on games, and that is the first time this generation that they've actually said that.
It's ironic.
Yeah.
Because when they like released the Xbox One, they really pushed the fact that it was like an entertainment system. It wasn't just like a games console. So actually they've never said, like you say, they've never said that it's like just about the games until literally just now.
Yeah. No, it was one of the things I put in my article, to be honest. It was like they were stealing Sony's stuff that they were saying. They I can't remember who it was that said it. It might have been Phil Spencer. Said near the end of the conference, he was like, let me find the quote. It was, if you haven't joined the Xbox One family, now's the time. And it is like the exact same sentence that PlayStation have used a lot. So I thought that was pretty funny. But what do you think of the Xbox Scorpio, the it's now called the Xbox One X, but here's some notes on it. So, most powerful console ever made will join the Xbox One S when it comes out. True 4K, 8 million pixels, HDR, premium sound, Dolby Atmos, and 4K Blu-ray. Blu-ray. I can't do it with this echo.
God. You'll get it.
4K Blu-ray playback. There you go. And
I like that you were going like Blueberry with it.
I know. And all Xbox One stuff will work with the new One X. And like all the game library that you have for your current one will be boosted and everything. So what do you think about it?
Like, is this where gaming is headed, where we have to have 3 different iterations of the console every time?
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. I'm not a fan of it.
Because do we really need, like, we've got the Xbox One S and then the Xbox One X. And it's like, at this point, you're kind of milking people dry. And like I've said in a discussion, probably on Game Coping, I think, it's a middle finger to early adopters, because people will have bought the Xbox One as a standard console, and then Microsoft have not once but twice gone like, okay, but here's a more powerful console that can do that and more.
Yeah, like,
and it's exactly the same as the PS4 Pro. Like, I just don't approve of it, because it's like, people have adopted your console because they're loyal to the brand or because they prefer you over whatever other competitors. And then you're saying, okay, but you shouldn't have been this loyal because now we've got a better thing that you can't afford.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of it either. I'm not a fan of the PS4 Pro either. I think it's completely pointless. They should have just waited for the whole 4K thing when that is going to be a huge deal, when it's the standard, when 4K becomes the HD of now, whereas like around 2008 to 10, where there was that transition into full HD, and everyone was buying HD TVs, the big boxes were disappearing. That's when games went, all right, cool, we're gonna be HD. Now it's like the technology isn't fully ready. The prices are way too high to buy 4K TVs and 4K consoles. So it's like I don't get the whole move to it this quickly. But regardless,
it's fine. I think I'm right in saying that, like, 4K TV, you can't even get like 4K discs. You have to stream it, or you have to like download it as a digital copy, because 4K is too high a resolution currently to support like discs. So like, clearly 4K is not there yet. Like, I get it, and it is the next step. But everything can't support 4K yet, so I don't know why there's this sudden rush to be the first one to support it.
Yeah, and but having said that, I think Xbox actually revealed their new one better. As I say, I'm not a fan of it, but PlayStation held this entire press conference about it, was really bogged down in all these technical things that no one cared about. It was really boring. It was like PS3 Sony. And in this Microsoft show, they took 5 minutes, really snappy at the start. We just went, okay, cool, we're revealing this, we're releasing it then, this is what it's got, it's better than the PS4 Pro, moving on, games. And that was good. It does look, it's also smaller, it's like the smallest Xbox, I believe. But then as soon as they revealed that was it. They just, they showed everything off in 4K, which again is stupid because you can't show everything off in 4K, seeing as people are streaming it with probably slow internet speeds where they're watching it in 380p. So it's like really dumb.
Yeah, that's another thing, is like people watching on iPads or whatever, like they can't support 4K. Like an iPad isn't set up to support 4K. So it's pointless showing it off in 4K because you're actually just then downscaling it to 1080p. So it doesn't matter that you're showing off how good they look because it doesn't come across.
So so that was that. Then as soon as they did that, they had the whole they did a Forza trailer. One of my notes was, Forza is so much better than Gran Turismo. I wish we had Forza.
I think every PlayStation player can accept that Forza is just the best car racing game.
Yeah.
It
was
looks
weird
amazing.
As well. It was weird. They revealed a new Porsche car at the show. It was very strange.
Yeah, I remember.
But yeah, they then released October 3rd Forza release date, and then they said, this is the largest and most diverse lineup of games we're showing on our E3 stage. And they said 42 games on stage, 22 exclusives. A lot of them apparently are timed exclusives, but either way, I think that was quite a good move, because they're saying, considering how few exclusives Xbox has actually had over the past 3 years, saying we have 22 to show right now is actually quite a good move, I thought.
Yeah, well, it's where I think Xbox has always lacked, where Sony has kind of picked up the slack, because Sony's always had quite a lot of exclusives for the PlayStation, whereas Xbox, they have a few. They have Forza and they have Gears of War and they have Halo and stuff like that, but they haven't had as many as PlayStation have.
Yeah.
But as you say, there are, I think, out of the 22 exclusives, and they just called them exclusives, they showed that about 11 of them, I think, are actually timed. So it is definitely a strong showing, but at the same time, they are not being misleading, but definitely trying to draw away from the fact that those will be available on other consoles after a time.
Yeah. But yeah, the next thing of note that they revealed, there were tons of little trailers. But they got the reveal for Assassin's Creed Origins, which we'll talk about more when we get to the Ubisoft show. But I thought that was interesting that Ubisoft chose to reveal Assassin's Creed Origins on the Microsoft stage.
Yeah, I don't know what the decision was there, really.
It's a bit random.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Has Assassin's Creed always been available on both consoles?
Yeah, it's always been.
Yeah, I thought so. So, there's not really, a motivation there. Both consoles have always, and, PC as well, have always supported your game. Why then suddenly decide you're going to hand over the rights to, one company in terms of, releasing it? But, fair play to them. I guess maybe since Microsoft had a strong showing anyway, they were just, piggybacking off of that, because it seems like they got a lot of hype for it, so fair enough to them.
There were quite a few games they revealed. One that really stuck out in my mind, they're doing a whole Minecraft thing, then they're doing what was it? What's it called? Battlegrounds. Oh man, they released tons. But there was a pirate game that stuck out to me. I think it's called Sea of Thieves.
It's
really good.
Yeah, it's like Black Flag if Black Flag had actually just tried to be a pirate game and not tried to be an Assassin's Creed game.
And later at the Ubisoft show, they revealed their own pirate game. But when I saw the Sea of Thieves trailer, I was like, man, Ubisoft will be kicking themselves, because this looks like the pirate game everyone wants.
I think everyone, there haven't been a lot of good pirate games, really any.
Yeah,
I think
surprisingly
people
few.
Yeah, there's obviously been pirate movies, and they were hugely successful, and we're just kind of sat over here waiting for a video game where we can get that same feeling as watching a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but actually getting to play it.
Yeah. So
I'm excited for that, but obviously I don't know if that's an exclusive or...
Yeah, I think it is one of the exclusives for PC at least, PC and Xbox. But regardless, I would be willing to get that on PC, because it does look really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
They released tons of titles and showed tons of trailers. Terry Crews had a little bit with Crackdown 3. That was fine. But yeah, then the last kind of thing from Microsoft, I think, was the prices, which I think has killed the Xbox One X. So the Xbox One S will have a $249 price, and the Xbox One X will have $499, which I think is far too expensive.
Yeah, it's disgusting, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know how much it costs to produce consoles like that, obviously, and how much it costs to ship them out and whatever. Obviously, there's a lot of production costs, but there's no way there's enough costs to justify a $500 price tag.
Yeah,
it's greedy at that point, especially since it's just an upgraded version of an existing console.
Yeah, I thought that, because when I heard all the stuff they revealed, I was like, that looks quite cool. I'm not going to buy one, but it does look quite good. People can cheer about that. Then I saw the price, I was like, nah, this is not going to sell well. And yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to do, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, you just have
Sorry,
like the when the PS4 got released, the sales lagged behind for ages until they dropped the price. And then when they dropped the price from like $399 down to like $299, that's when people actually started buying it, because they were like, okay, PS4 is actually like a decent price now and we can afford to get one. And Microsoft are definitely going to have to drop the price of that.
And just quickly, the last two things for the Microsoft one. They're releasing backward compatibility to Xbox games, the original Xbox, which I think is a huge move. I think it's a blow to Sony, to be honest, because they've not even started properly working on backwards compatibility to the PS3, and Xbox are already another step ahead now, going for the original Xbox. So I think that is something Sony really does need to get on now, because it's for PlayStation fans, we're a wee bit like, what the fuck? Come on.
I'm not sure they're going to, though. I'm not sure if they're ever going to go with backwards compatibility. I think they're just going to carry on with releasing
Now and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. PlayStation Now, and also just releasing like PlayStation Classics on the PS Store. Like they have Bully and stuff on there now. I don't think they're actually going to make the step to backwards compatibility, to be honest, because Sony they just seem completely like
they don't seem to care
to that. Like they're not interested.
Yeah. And there was one game called Anthem, which I thought really looked cool. I don't know if you saw it. It's like a shooter, I believe, but it does look quite spacey, quite cool. It looks like to me, it's more appealing Destiny, basically.
Don't think I did, but it sounds interesting.
All right, so moving on. Bethesda had a weird show. They basically focused on games that they've released already, such as Skyrim, Fallout 4. They're doing VR for both of those. They haven't released very many new IPs. It's basically just been like, here's DLC for this, here's DLC for that. Let me think. So a new Elder Scrolls Online update has just come out. They were talking about that. New Dishonored 2 DLC, which I'm excited for. That'll focus on Dowd and Billy Lark and stuff. And what else? Oh yeah, the two things I'm really, really excited for. Wolfenstein 2. Now, I've never been a Wolfenstein fan. I didn't play, what was it, The New Order? Or something? Yeah, I didn't play that. But this new one, this trailer that they dropped, looks really, really interesting. I'm really looking forward to playing that, to be honest.
I think they keep dragging Wolfenstein along and trying to make it like a worthwhile IP. And I just don't think it ever is going to be, because I played some Wolfenstein game on PS3 and it was just like a really subpar shooter. Like it functioned, but it wasn't like interesting to play. And like I played through the entire campaign and nothing really happened. And I got to the end and I was like, okay, that's it. And it like put me off playing the newer one on PS4 or whatever it was released on. And I get that it was like successful in its day, but at the same time, Wolfenstein, just the name isn't going to carry you anymore. I think if you want to make that style of shooter, fine, but stop trying to like get sales just through a name.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I was just, obviously I've not played a Wolfenstein game before, but that one really drew me in. I really wanted to play that when I saw it.
Fair enough.
And The Evil Within 2 as well also got announced. Which I didn't play the first one, but it does look quite cool. I can't really comment, again, not really interested in it and haven't played it, but that looks quite cool.
I mean, I watched someone play through the first game, and very cool game, very kind of Resident Evil-esque. Like, I think that's the best comparison you could find, is it's like Resident Evil with probably more shooting, although now Resident Evil games have kind of caught up with themselves on that, but it's just kind of a shooty Resident Evil.
And everything they said, everything that was shown at that conference will be out in 2017, which is good, but at the same time, no IPs were announced, like no new ones. It was very, here's all this this expansive stuff that we're releasing for the games we've released in the past year. And whilst that is good, because Bethesda can just be like, you know what, screw everyone else, we're just going to do our own thing. It's good, but at the same time, last year they released a lot of new IPs, and this year it was a wee bit of a letdown for me because they didn't release many new ones.
Yeah, so, I think Bethesda's always been really good at making good games, but it's always in their own time, and they're really bad at PR in the meantime. Like they never really do anything to like hype themselves up. They just go, here is this game, we know it's great, but you're going to have to wait to play it, and we're not going to tell you much else about it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of typical of them. They're not very good at conferences, I don't think.
And they're catering to VR quite well as well. That's another thing I had down.
Yeah, it's true. Obviously, VR is still kind of... I'm ropey about it, but it seems like it is doing well on certain developers like Bethesda.
And yeah, then moving on to Ubisoft. So I really liked the start of Ubisoft's thing. They opened with bringing out what's his name? Miyamoto. There you go. Can't believe I forgot his name there. So they announced Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which I think looks like a really cool game. I've never been a fan of the Rabbids people.
I don't think anyone has. I don't know why they keep keeping them alive. It's literally like the minions from Despicable Me. Like no one actually likes them, but they won't let them die.
Yeah. So I have no idea what they are, but I think the game looks really cool. And
the actual game looks great.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that Ubisoft are supporting the Switch. I think that's a huge deal for a third party to really come out and open their show at E3 by saying we're supporting the Switch. I think that's a really good thing for that console.
Yeah, definitely. We've already covered it, and I don't know if the episode will be out by the time we put this out. Probably not. But we do talk about what will make the Switch successful, don't we, in one of our podcasts? And we'd say about third-party support being a big part of that. So definitely beneficial that someone as big as that has gone, we're supporting them.
So that was a good start to the show, I feel. That's coming out August 29th, which is good because it's bridging the gap between their fall lineup that they have a few like Mario and everything, and where Splatoon's coming out in July, I think. So it kind of bridges that gap, which is good. Let me see what else. Then Assassin's Creed came up. So what do we think of that?
I mean, whatever. Really, I want to be excited for Assassin's Creed games, but I really find it difficult now because they're too samey. Even they're like, oh, we're waiting 2 years, we're gonna have a 2-year development cycle. I just look at the gameplay for Origins and it's like, okay, it's every Assassin's Creed game. Like it doesn't change it for me that, oh look, you have an eagle, so instead of using eagle vision you just literally use an eagle's vision like that. Not that interested.
That's fair.
I'll give it to them. They have revamped the combat. I don't know because I didn't play, what was it called, Syndicate?
Neither did I.
They changed the combat in that, but it looks like they've gone further, and it's actually like if you're fighting more than one enemy, it's actually there's a difficulty increase now rather than it just being parry, counter.
The two things that I want to talk about this is in fact 3 things. Firstly, I'm disappointed because there usually is a really cool cinematic trailer, like the one for Revelations where it was like Iron by Woodkid was playing. There was a whole thing. I loved those trailers. I thought it was such a cool thing and such a unique thing that they released one for every single game. And I'm disappointed that there isn't one, because this is the first one that there hasn't been one like that.
I mean, I'm hoping they'll bring one out closer to the release, because obviously that game is still in alpha, so it's got a long way to go. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll release just like a cool trailer, because same, I really love every single game has had that. Like I really like the one for Assassin's Creed 3 where he's like running across the
battlefield and everything,
Battle of Bunker Hill. And he like does the jump shot with the arrow and everything. Like it's just really cool, and it's something that makes you like excited to play an Assassin's Creed game. For sure. You're like, I can do that. So I want to see that for that game, because it might actually turn me onto it a bit more.
What else? They've copied a couple of Far Cry mechanics. Like there's a lot more kind of outposts and stuff, and you've got the eagle, which basically is from Far Cry Primal. That was a mechanic, but it was also
it's basically
like
identical.
It's like you can tag enemies. It's the same thing, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if I like it because I like those two IPs being separate. You know?
Yeah, it's starting to kind of blend ideas, but it's fine. Like, if it improves the game. Like, the gameplay I've seen of it, to be fair, the eagle looks glitchy as fuck.
Yes.
Like, I was watching it and literally, like, someone did a dive bomb, but their eagle got stuck on the environment and was just, like, sliding along in dive bomb formation. So, like, obviously, like I say, it's in alpha. They'll improve it, but I'm hoping that it does that, because there have been glitchy messes, to be fair.
Yeah, there's also a lot more RPG mechanics. It's a lot more kind of like, here's a skill tree, here's like different equipment that you have to get. It's not as traditional Assassin's Creed-y.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at even the combat, it has like Witcher style like damage points coming up when you hit people. So they've definitely changed kind of the way you interact with the game. Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I'm wanting to see more. I like that they're kind of taking it in another direction, but I wanted to see more from... Okay, so the character's name is Bayek. Now, I feel like they really needed to step up with characters, because what made the Ezio games so good and so successful was Ezio. Like, he gave the games a whole other dynamic that people could jump onto, and without that, the gameplay will always be kind of fun, but you know that there's something missing now from that.
Yeah, like, you don't necessarily have to play a game for its story, but it's really boring if you have a character that has enough of a personality that you can't project onto them, but also not enough personality to be interesting, like, as a standalone thing. So you really need to find that like middle ground. Yeah.
So next was Crew 2. Sorry, The Crew 2 was revealed, which I'm interested in. I really, really liked the look of The Crew originally, and then I got the game and it was very bland and disappointing, and the missions were really oddly difficult for how you could upgrade stuff. It was very hard to open up into the game. But I really like the concept of being able to like drive across America like with a friend, like with you know? But I don't know, I'll wait and see. The whole thing is that they've got now off-road bikes, boats, planes, and street racing and everything, and it's billed for 2018, but I don't know, I'm waiting to see about that one.
Yeah, so it's GTA without walking around, basically.
Basically, yeah.
But, and it won't, you know, I'd still be interested in that if they can pull it off.
Yeah. What else? South Park was there. That's actually going to be available October 17th. They finally got another release date for that because it kept getting delayed for a long time. There's a few VR titles that they've announced which look interesting. Then Skull and Bones, their new pirate game, was revealed as well. Did you see the trailer for that?
I don't believe I did.
So they basically revealed the cinematic trailer I wanted for Assassin's Creed. They revealed for this new game called Skull and Bones, and they also did gameplay as well. It's basically Black Flag, the naval combat, without being an assassin, which I think is a good idea, depending on how they take that. If there's only naval combat and there's no like sword to sword stuff, then that could be a problem. But I don't know. I'm interested, but I hated Black Flag, so I'm a bit tentative to get excited for it.
I think they just need to find the right blend, because the naval combat is fantastic when it's done right. I really liked it in Assassin's Creed 3. And the actual like sailing part of 4 I enjoyed. It just, the actual combat kind of was downgraded.
Yeah. Well, they've definitely detailed it more. They've gone into more kind of... There's more naval combat stuff that you can do, so...
Yeah, and I want more of that feeling of being a pirate, where it's like... Because Assassin's Creed 4 tried it, where you would like swing on a rope across to the other boat, but like 80% of the time, the rope would be lined up wrong and you'd miss, or just like... Because it was a glitchy mess, you'd just like land on someone, and it would just it would ruin the whole feeling of it. I want them to nail, like... I want to feel like a pirate.
and it's more online based as well, I believe. It's basically the Caribbean is just one massive online world. There's like 5v5 modes. You can build a gang of pirates, then you can go against other gangs of pirates, and it looks good, I guess. Again, I'm just really tentative.
I mean, I can get behind that though. I want it to be good.
Yes, but it actually reminded me very much of For Honor kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I thought Sea of Thieves looked better. What else? Of course, there was the whole Just Dance 2018 thing shown. That's always there. Starlink Battle for Atlas. Now, this was a cool space game. It looked like No Man's Sky, but a better version of it. So we'll see how that goes. It's on the Switch as well. It's coming out. There's like a whole, like, you can clip a spaceship onto a controller thing. I'm not sure what it was. You don't need it, but that was a whole thing. It looked quite cool. What else? There's a Steep expansion coming. Then there was like a half hour of Assassin's Creed gameplay. Which
I feel like I watched that, and the person playing it was for some reason just not that great.
Yeah.
But that always seems to be the way at these showings, is they get someone out who actually can't play the game, and it makes you a little bit kind of, all right, come on now.
Yeah.
But
so on to Sony. We're getting through. So they basically there were no surprises really in Sony's conference. It was just new trailers for the exclusive that they're releasing. So they opened with Naughty Dog. Always a good idea, because Naughty Dog trailers are the shit. So new Uncharted DLC trailer looked really cool. Did you see it or no?
Yeah, and it did look cool, although I was kind of hoping we'd be done with Uncharted now. And that's like, not in a harsh way. It's just like, I was happy. They called the game A Thief's End, and I was like, okay, they're going to stop making sequels for that now. We're all good. Yeah. So I kind of want them to actually stop with it, because I don't want them to drag it out now that they've kind of given the story some closure.
Yeah. Then there's Horizon Zero Dawn is getting an expansion. I really need to go back to that and play that game. But that looks cool. Days Gone got a new trailer. I thought this was really cool. When it was revealed, I wasn't really turned on by Days Gone. It didn't look like it controlled very well for me, and Ollie disagreed. But then this trailer's completely turned it around for me. I'm just like, this looks so good. So I'm really excited
as well.
For that game now.
Because it's funny you say that, because I'm actually like the opposite.
Really?
Because I really like the look of the first trailer, and I'll give you, it kind of looked like a bit janky, but I think that's just because it was the first gameplay thing they'd done.
Yeah.
But it looked really cool. It looked like kind of a mixture of The Last of Us and like World War Z, like the kind of horde of zombies, and you can't really do anything about them. You just like fire into a sea of them. It was kind of interesting seeing like you're completely powerless in a way.
Yeah.
And then this time it kind of just looked like The Last of Us with Motorbike Guy. It was just like, yeah, you're gonna drive a motorbike, then you're gonna take out enemies stealthily, then you're going to have a face-off with someone, and it looked more like The Last of Us, which isn't necessarily an issue. It's just I wanted something different.
Yeah, I get you. No, that's totally fair. Like, there is such a thing as too many zombie games. And I did, though, like, in a way, I think I put it in my notes, that they've really learned. Sonny Bend it is Bend that's working on this, I believe. Yes. Bend have really learned from Naughty Dog. They're doing the whole, we're really good at motion capture thing. This is our storytelling way now. But that's fair enough. That I can completely see your point, that there is a bit of, I think it's good because they announced... Did they announce the date for this? Either way, if they did or not, I can't remember. The Last of Us 2 and this need to be spread out, because there needs to be, there needs to kind of.
I also I'm excited for it because it looks like it is kind of open world. Like it looks like kind of going. Yeah, but I just want to know how much of the zombie encounter stuff is like scripted and how much of it is natural, because both of the trailers they've showed off so far has very much been
scripted.
Yeah, you've been like maneuvered into a situation where then a horde appears. I kind of want to know if there's going to be any like spontaneity to that, or if it's only going to be scripted stuff.
But yeah, then they moved on to like a VR section of the show. They showed a bunch of games. They showed like one that's linked to Until Dawn. They showed a couple of really cool things for VR. Again, don't have a PSVR yet, at least. I don't imagine I'll get one soon, but all the games look really cool. They showed off Shadow of the Colossus, which was cool. That's coming 2018. It's like a remake of the PS2 games, I believe.
I mean, I'm cool with that as well, because I never played the PS2 ones and I'm intrigued. So.
Yeah. I think they needed it, to be honest, because The Last Guardian was supposed to be a spiritual successor. That has not done well. So they do kind of need to bring something up, being like, this was a good game, we promise.
Yeah, The Last Guardian was not what people were after.
Yeah. Then there's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite got announced. That looks quite cool. I probably won't play it, but I'm a fan of it. Then Call of Duty World War II got another trailer or a new trailer. I can't remember if it's the first or not. But I actually thought that looks really, really good, and I'm probably going to get that Call of Duty game, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fantastic. It also just kind of looks like Battlefield 1 COD edition, but
yeah,
it does look like a lot of fun. Like, I'm ready to play it. Because I do want to play a game in that time period, and nothing's really done it for quite a while. So
yeah, I'm glad it's definitely going backwards in time again, because I think the future thing got boring very quickly.
Yeah, although I saw a lot of people in the comments to that trailer being like, "Where's my jump pack?" Which I was like,
that's going to be a whole thing. That's going to be in the game.
Complete adjustment to how we've been playing shooters, because like they've been really like fast paced and kind of in your face, and now it's going to be kind of scaled back.
But I guarantee there will be a mode where it's like there will be a jump pack in the game. There will be like
it's going to be like they're going to have like a zombie mode, and it's going to have a time machine that takes you to somewhere with jump packs or something.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did they have? There was God of War trailer, which again looked really cool. I've never played a God of War game. Well, I have briefly, but I've not actually got into that. But this looks like a really cool game, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I'm interested. They're doing a bit of like a Thor's hammer thing with the axe he uses, which is kind of fun. Also changed the voice actor for Kratos, I believe, which is good, because the voice actor in the first 4 games was very much like, I don't know how to talk, I can only scream.
Yeah, I mean, probably his voice is done. That's probably why they had to replace it.
His vocal cords are gravel now. So
let's see, they then had Destiny 2 trailer, which I didn't play the first Destiny. You can probably comment on that better than me.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny was fun. They've definitely learned, I think, from their mistakes, because Destiny didn't become a playable game until about a year after it was originally released, and by that point I wasn't interested in it anymore. Yeah, because there was just not enough to do. It was just like, here's a massive multiplayer online game. Oh, we forgot to fill it with anything. So it took like a year for them to actually get on track with that. But now that they're releasing Destiny 2, they've kind of learned where they went wrong, and I think it's going to be released as a much stronger title than the first one was.
They also then showed off Detroit Become Human, which I think looks really, really cool. It's I don't know did you see the trailer or not?
I saw part of the trailer.
Yeah, it was quite a long one. But basically, same people who made Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls are making this really cool AI story game, but it's from the perspective of the AI, which I think is really cool. It's a cool take on it. But that looks like a great game. There seems to be lots of branches and paths you can take. But I thought it looked really, really interesting.
Yeah, I haven't played one of their games firsthand. I've only watched them played, and I really want to play a new one, because Beyond looked better than Heavy Rain. So I'm hoping that now this game coming is going to be better than Beyond, and it just keeps going. Because there are complaints, obviously, that it plays just one long quick time event, but at the same time, that's the kind of game they make. If you want to play that kind of game, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's what they're there for. And they closed the show with Spider-Man, which I am so excited for. I think it looks so good. And I said from the start, as soon as it was announced, Insomniac are the perfect developer to make a Spider-Man game. They have the charm, the gameplay, the looks, everything that a Spider-Man game has, and I think they're really going to use the evolution of Ratchet and Clank to their benefit, and I think it looks like it's going to be a stunning game. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm very excited. My only criticism is that, like, basically every game ever with hand-to-hand combat now, it looks a little bit kind of Batman.
Yeah,
but
of course.
That's completely unavoidable at this point. Like, Batman's combat system works so well, there's no way you can't copy it. So
yeah. Lastly, there was no The Last of Us 2. People will be disappointed, but I think that's probably because that game is very far off. I reckon that will be, like, of Sony's exclusive list for the next 5 years, The Last of Us 2 will probably be, along with Death Stranding, the ones that are farthest away. So I'm not really surprised.
I'm glad they didn't show it, to be honest. If they showed The Last of Us 2 stuff, I would have been a bit edgy, because it doesn't need to be out yet. They need to give it some time. They can't rely
on it either.
Yeah, exactly.
And Knack 2 will be available September 6th. Play that game. Then on to, lastly, Nintendo's. I was impressed with Nintendo's show. Basically, they came out and they were like, we're going to have Rocket League and FIFA 18 on Switch. And I was like, cool, I'm not going to play FIFA 18 and I've already played enough Rocket League, but I'm glad that you're having some more third-party support.
Yeah, it's good. I kind of feel like Nintendo did what Nintendo always does, where they came out and instead of showing us a lot, they basically just said, yeah, we're working on this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Because they only really showed, like Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, in terms of gameplay, yeah, basically.
Yeah, which, let's be honest, looks fucking phenomenal.
I can't wait. Honestly, I'm so excited for Odyssey.
Like, it looks hilarious. Like, oh look, Mario's like possessing a photorealistic T-Rex. Why not? And that's like what they opened it with. They were like, yeah, that's what you can expect. And like Mario running around a city with people who look like actual humans, and he's like this little cartoon plumber.
And you can get like costumes for him and everything. Oh,
yeah, and he's got like basically god powers with his hat. It's like it's incredible. Cannot wait for that game. It might be the thing that tips me over and makes me buy a Switch because it looks incredible. But can't wait for that. That's definitely their strongest showing.
For sure. And two new announcements as well. There's going to be a new Kirby game coming in 2018 and a new Yoshi game coming in 2018. I cannot wait for either of those because I've not played either franchise before. I've played a bit of Kirby before, but I really want to play like a Kirby game and a new Yoshi game. Dude, they both look really cool.
Yoshi's Island on like the Game Boy Advance was like a childhood memory. Like I played that so much. Yeah, I completed that game like 6 or 7 times on my little Game Boy. I've always been a fan of those. I'm really glad they're carrying it on because Yoshi is just the best, to be honest.
Yeah. What else? Fire Emblem Warriors was confirmed for fall 2017, which you'll be interested in.
Which is interesting, to be fair, because they've released, I want to say Fire Emblem Echoes, I think is the current one. They're getting closer together because they released Awakening, which was, I think, their first DS game. Then there was a period of like several years before they released like Birthright and all those ones. Then less than a year later, I think, they've released Echoes, and now they're releasing again less than a year later this new one. So it's interesting. They're getting closer together. Abby played Echoes and she says it's different. She's not entirely convinced by it. So I hope they don't like overdo it because that actually has really in-depth gameplay. Yeah, I just hope they don't like ruin it by releasing it too much.
There's also Metroid Prime 4 in development. They didn't give a release date or anything because that's probably a ways off, but I thought that was interesting. I'm glad they're expanding a lot of their franchises onto the Switch. I think that's a good move, seeing as the Wii U hardly got anything.
It's what I mean though, because Metroid as well. You know, fans have been asking for another Metroid game for forever. Yeah, and they've come to the conference and they've gone, yeah, we're making Metroid, and everyone's like, can we see it? And they're like, no. Yeah. And it's the same with, didn't they announce they're doing a Pokemon game for the Switch?
They did. They're doing. There's like a Pokemon RPG in development for it.
Yeah.
Which they didn't show. They were just like, we're making one.
Yeah, exactly. It's this the exact same thing where it's like, yeah, you asked for it, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We can't show you a thing about it or when it's coming out or anything, but we're Nintendo, so don't worry.
I know Pokemon Sun and Moon. It is Sun and Moon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The new one for the Switch hasn't been shown off yet, which I'm annoyed. It means they're probably doing more to it, but at the same time, I want that game.
Yeah, they announced it.
Up.
They were like, yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are coming for the Switch and also for the DS, which again, bit of a kick in the teeth because it has extra
really
Pokemon, extra Pokemon and story stuff that wasn't in the original Sun and Moon.
Oh, that sucks.
But it's not much, and I'm not going to buy the game again just to play it. But it's a little bit interesting. But yeah, they are releasing that.
Yeah. Then they were like, okay, October, 27th of October. No, that's, 27th of October fuck!
We're both getting a little bit like too excited here.
I know. So, 27th of October for Odyssey was the release date. Then Holiday 2017 for Rocket League on Switch. I'm interested in it for the fact that there will be cross-network play, which is interesting.
Which incidentally, Sony refuses to partake in.
I know, it's dumb.
It's across really dumb. Every platform, people are like, yeah, we want to do cross-platform stuff, and then Sony just refuses. Yeah. And I think they said either at the conference or just before it the exact same thing, where they're like, no, we have no interest in branching into that.
See, I don't get it, because even if Nintendo is on board with it, then surely everyone you would expect is on board with it. Because Nintendo was always the last to get to these things.
The Sony president actually came out and said that they worry about the safety of the players. And the Microsoft president hit back and he was like, exactly what are you worried about? He honestly couldn't understand it. He was like, I'm baffled because obviously Microsoft do as much as they can to protect their players, and as do Nintendo. So I'm confused as to what the Sony president is worried about. But yeah, they're just refusing to partake.
I think that's probably because there's a lot more dodginess going on with PlayStation Network than there is with Xbox Live.
Yeah, true. Honestly, maybe Sony just don't want to give the others the plague.
Yeah, probably. What else? I think that's about it. There was also another Metroid, Samus Returns, which is like a remake of Metroid 2 on Nintendo 3DS, and that's coming out this year.
I'm definitely going to get that. I've read an article about it, and they said that it plays really well on the DS.
Yeah.
And those games are just I've never had the chance to play one myself, so I'm really excited.
Yeah. And they didn't announce it in their show, but the prices for the online service have now been announced on the Nintendo eShop.
Yeah.
They're a wee bit cheaper than PlayStation Plus, but at the same time, there was no big announcement saying, any of the this is how it works, this is the more intricate bits of it. There hasn't been a trophy system announced. They're really avoiding it, which I'm annoyed about, especially when they delayed it, because usually when a company delays something, they at least give fans something to bite on, where they're like, okay, we're delaying Red Dead, for example, but here's a new trailer, or here's new screenshots. We've not had anything for it, which makes me kind of edgy about it.
Yeah, but Nintendo are always cagey. If they don't want to announce something, or if they don't want to talk about something, they just point blank don't.
Yeah.
They'll just release a Nintendo Direct 3 months after people have asked about it and announce something.
Well, that's the thing. Nintendo, for E3, Nintendo isn't that big a deal because they have so many Directs every year about specific things. So,
yeah, well, that was the thing, is that's probably why they didn't do anything about Ultra Sun and Moon at E3, because they did a Nintendo Direct 2 weeks before.
Yeah. But yeah, that's me finished my notes. So 2 quick questions to finish things off. What game are you most excited about? If you can think of one.
I mean, before I saw the new gameplay for it, it was Days Gone.
Yeah.
Now I'm leaning on the co-op side, definitely towards Far Cry 5. Which we haven't brought up. That. We didn't mention it.
Sorry about
that. But yeah, Far Cry 5, they debuted some amazing looking multiplayer stuff for that.
Yep.
And the trailer was not nearly long enough for me. I was like, no, show me more.
They should have showed more of that instead of Assassin's Creed, in my opinion.
because it was a very short little like tidbit they gave you, but it's definitely got me excited to see like how the co-op works in that, because hot damn, that game looks good.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have like a most exciting game?
See, I think for PlayStation, I think the one I'm most excited for is Spider-Man. I cannot wait for a good Spider-Man game, and it just looks brilliant. The trailer really bought me over. I think also Super Mario Odyssey. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game, and I don't even have the console it's being released on. It just looks perf.
Yeah. I should have said as well, there's an expansion coming for Zelda, but you know, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but it needs an expansion, really.
Yeah. So do you think anyone won E3?
No, I mean, I actually think, honestly, compared to previous years, this one's been a bit lackluster.
Yeah, there wasn't an obvious winner. I think for me, in previous years, like maybe the past 3 years, Sony's kind of always taken it for me. They've always come out and been like, here's the announcements you wanted, and that was it. Because Microsoft weren't there, and Nintendo had nothing, you know? Whereas this year, it's a lot more even, I think.
Yeah, but I think that's mainly because like they showed cool stuff, but overall, it was just lackluster. Like E3 didn't really do it for me as much this year as it has previous years.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I think in terms of like developer, like the big three, I think probably Nintendo did it just because they are actually giving everyone, like, they're like, here's what you want. Like, we are working on this, this, and this because you asked for us to. And definitely like Mario Odyssey and all that, like, is definitely going to pull people in. And it's what they needed as well, just to keep the Switch relevant.
Yeah. So I agree. I think if I had to pick one, Nintendo have come out and really fired on all cylinders. But for personal like games I'm really interested in, I think PlayStation have done really well again. Again, Xbox did well, but they didn't bring up enough for me to go, oh, I'm considering buying an Xbox, you know? And I doubt that would happen, but there are no like huge IPs that make me think I have to buy an Xbox because I'm missing out, you know?
No, yeah, exactly. That's always been me, is that Sony have always just had the exclusives that I'm more interested in. But, you know, it's E3, it's not the be-all and end-all. They'll probably come out with some good stuff that hasn't been announced.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that has been announced probably won't be any good. So it's kind of a balancing act. But
yeah. But, yeah, I think that rounds it up. I don't know how long this is going to end up being, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. Comment down below. Tell us what you're excited for. Tell us who you think won E3.
Start some, like, flame wars in the comments.
Yeah.
Tell us we're on meth.
But yeah, thanks very much for joining me, Ollie.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. And tune in next time, everybody.
Tune in next time. We love you.
Bye for now.